Hey, good morning or afternoon, everybody. So I'm going to be making a few of these little short videos to kind of help you work through your basics. I'm going to do a video for different levels. So this is one of my first videos. This video will cover things that you need to be able to do from white belt to yellow belt. And then I will make another video that will cover each other degree or belt level. So white belt to yellow belt, then we'll do a green and blue belt, and then I'll do a red and black belt video also, which will only be about 15 minutes long, just covering the techniques and covering the basic moves and doing them in a confined space, since we're all doing this all in quarantine. So I hope these are helpful for you. I'm using a mic so that you can hear me hopefully clearly, and I hope that you'll be able to use these as we go along through the next, hopefully, few weeks, but really, this could last for months, so want to make something available to y'all. All right, so at this point, you should have already done your warm-up and your stretches. Those are always basics. Do about a good 5 to 10 minute warm-up and stretch. So from there, we'll go into these videos, which will be the actual techniques. So for white belt and yellow belt, the main things you got to be able to do, you have to do your forms. So I'm going to cover the 3 forms that white belts and yellow belts have to be able to do, and I'm also going to cover the basic techniques that you also have to be able to do. Your basic techniques are going to be your blocks, your stances, and a few strikes, and a couple of kicks. So kicks, front kick, side kick. You need to be able to do front kick and side kick. You need to be able to do your basic punches and knife hand strikes, and you need to be able to do all 3 stances. So you have your front stance, horse stance, and back stance, also known as a fighting stance when you have your guard up. All right, so here I'm going to start the first part of the video just working on basics, and I'm going to do more of a talk through rather than what we would actually do in a class. All right, so when you actually get ready to go from Junbi to your regular horse stance, Junbi, hands are broken circles at the waist. So this is a full circle, broken circle. A broken circle going all the way around. Feet are just about 6 inches to 10 inches apart, depending if you're a child or an adult. It's also known as shoulders width. All right, so however wide your shoulders are, directly underneath that should be your feet. It should be a good, balanced, comfortable standing position. Shoulders are back, broken circle in front. That is the Junbi position, ready position. Okay, so all lower level belt forms start in this Junbi position. All right, so the first technique that we're going to work on is our horse stance with our midsection punches. So I want you to walk with me through those as I do them. Okay, so go chariot, attention, bow, kunye, stand back up to chariot, Junbi. Horse stance, stomach punch. It's a horse stance stomach punch with a kiap. Ready? Hana, hey, do, set, net, hana, do, set, net, hana, do, set, net. High punches. Ready? Hana, do, set, net, hana, do, set, net. So note on high punches, it is about nose eyeball level. You're punching your high level, not somebody else's high level. You're punching at your head level with these punches. As you stand inside this horse stance, note how wide it is and also how even it is. It's like as if you're riding a big, huge barrel, okay, or sitting on a log, or riding a horse, which is where it comes from. So knees are bent, not straight up like that. Keep them slightly bent so there's a little bit of bounce and spring. Keep your toes pointed forward, not pointed out. Pointed straight forward. Shoulders back. All right, once again, hands are eye level, nose to eye level. Ready? Keep going. Do, set, net, hana, do, set, net. Now we'll do low section punches. We don't normally do these, but I want us to at least be able to hit all 3 levels. So do low section. So you're shooting toward this lower level. Ready? Hana, do, set, net, hana, do, set, net. All right, we're going to do all 3 punches. So we're going to do 1 low, 1 mid, 1 high. Okay? So 1 low, 1 mid, 1 high. Keep your right arm out inside that low section punch. Here we go. On 1 count, do 3 punches slowly. Hana. Hey. Do. Hey. Hana. Hey. Do. Hey. Note, I'm key-opping on the last technique. You need to make sure you do that. Hana. Hey. Do. Hey. Hana. Hey. Do. Hey. Borrow. Back to the ready position. Okay, that's your horse stance and some of your basic punches from there. So now let's go over to your other stances. Front stance. So most of our blocks are executed in the front stance, and we're going to work through all of our blocks. All right. Now, as I'm doing this, note I'm practicing in a confined space. So some of y'all are probably also working in a confined space right now. So that's the reason why I'm doing it here on my patio. Okay, so I'm going to try to do all the technique. It's just right here also in a small little space. Can't go too far forward, can't go too far backwards, or even side to side. Might run the furniture, right? So I got little couches and chairs. So I did that just to make sure you know that I'm trying to do this in roughly the same size space that you're dealing with at home. All right, so we go back to Gym B, and we're going to do our front stance. Now, many of the adults, you know that the front stance is a lot like a lunge, and you can explain that to the kids, what a lunge really is. If you don't know what a lunge is, a lunge is an exercise or a stretch. It keeps the back leg straight, and it uses for stretching the hamstring area or ACL area. So you're stepping forward. We'll always step forward with our left foot. You'll step forward, keep that back leg nice and straight, keep the shoulders back, bend that knee. So if you look down from this, you should just see the tip of your toes. Shoulders are back, you should just see the tip of your toes. If you look downward, all right? So that's how it should be. It is not an even distribution like the other ones, which is 50-50. This one, most of the weight is right here on the front. And there's a little bit of weight back here. So usually the distribution, what they say is around 60% up front, so a little bit over half up front, and a little bit in the back, but not a whole lot, but not so much that you can just pick your leg up. All right, so around about 60%, a little bit over half of your weight and energy is up front, and just a little bit in the back. Whereas horse stance, that's 50%, 50-50, half and half. Weight distribution. Front stance, mostly to the front, a little bit to the back. I'll do it so you can see it from the front. So notice I am shoulders width. When I step out, that does not change. Shoulders width. I'm not walking a tightrope. So still about shoulders width, maybe a little bit wider. Bend that front knee, straight back leg, okay? So our first move that we're going to do, we're going to walk forward using our high blocks, okay? And I'm going to walk through each block. So Gym B, stepping forward, high section block. Here we go. Hana, step forward, cross my arms. I take the same leg that's forward. It's going to be the same arm that's going to block. Go straight up. There's about a hand's width distance between my head and my arm. I should be able to do that, and it should be protecting over my head, not in front of my head. That is not a high block. It needs to be just over the forehead, okay? So that's a high block. Keep your other hand by your hip, all right? Do, cross, hana, do, stepping backwards, hana, do, hana, do, hana, do, hana, do. So just practice going back and forth. Hana, do, hana, do. Always make sure you got that space and your hands by your hip. You want to be able to block, okay? After we've done all 3 of these blocks as an exercise, we'll also go through how you turn around, okay? So back to Gym B. Okay, so now we'll go step forward doing front block, also called a side block, not an inside block. There are differences. The front block or side block, fingers are facing outward to the front, and it's almost always done in a front stance. So Jim B, stepping forward, side block or front block. Hana. Note the same technique, crossing, coming out. Fingertips are about eye level. Do, hana, do, hana, do, hana, do, hana, do. So when you do that movement, make sure you're coming from the side of your head and you're twisting, rotating that hand and arm each time. All right? Hana, do, hana, do, hana, do, borrow. So those are your side blocks. Okay, so now our next block that we're going to do are going to be low blocks. Front stance also. Here we go. So copying that same movement of forming that X and then going down. Ready? Hana, hey, do, hana, stepping backwards, hana, do, hana, do, going forwards, hana, do, hana, do, stepping backwards, hana, do, hana, do, borrow, back to ready. All right, so now we've done our 3 levels of blocks, high, mid, which are your front side blocks, and your low section blocks. Now we're going to learn how we actually turn in a front stance, because turning in a front stance is something that some of us really do struggle with. All right, so we'll go from Jim B, and we're not going to do a block, we're just going to focus on the stance itself. All right, so when you're just walking in your front stance, you put your hands out by your side like that, okay? So ready, here we go. Hana, hey, do. So now that I have enough space to turn, what I need to be able to do, plant my front leg. It stays where it's going to be. It does not move. It will rotate and spin on the ball of the foot. So what I like to do is pretend I'm standing up in the air on that front leg, okay? And then what I want to do is I just want to kind of turn my body all the way around. And that's how you turn. Hana. Now I'm going to turn. So I stand up like I'm standing on one leg, on that front leg, and then I turn around. Okay, so that is the type of movement. That's not actually how you do it, but in using basic body movements, that's the best way I can describe it. So, Hana. Stand up on that front leg, with that leg up, then turn around on that one foot. Hana. Stand up, turn around. Now how it actually looks as you get used to that body movement is like this. Hana. So see how I actually kind of keep my feet on the floor and turn around. But I want you to practice that other movement until you're used to getting that movement in your mind and in your head. Okay? All right. Borrow. So there, we have 2 stances down, 3 blocks, and some of our punches already down. So let's move on. We're now going to work on our back stance or fighting stance. So this is one that everybody's most used to. It's most natural when it comes to martial arts and defending yourself. So Jim B. So step back in a fighting stance. Step back with your right leg on this. Your left leg is forward. All right. Step back fighting stance. Shijet. Hey. So how I bring my arms down and then up and do that double guard. Okay. So the way this one is kind of balanced, a lot of your weight's on the back. You should be able to stand on that back leg and lift that front leg. Okay. That's a good back stance. That you can stand on that back leg and lift it up. So they usually say 70% on the back leg itself, 30%, because you can take a sweep and still be standing without losing your balance, or quickly get your balance back, okay? So this is the fighting stance or back stance. This is with a guard, all right? So let's step forward, Hana, Do, Hana, step back, Hana, do, hana. Step forward, hana. Do, hana. Step back, hana. Do, hana. All right, now I'm gonna step forward this time, and then I'm gonna turn around, just so we're used to turning around. So I'm gonna do it about 2 times forward. Ready? Hana, do, set. I say goma, turn around, stop. Is goma, turn around. Hey, that's all you do. And then switch direction your feet are going. Hana, do, goma, turn around, look in the direction you're going to turn, shift your feet so your front foot is pointing in the direction you're going, and your back foot is pointing perpendicular to that. So it forms like like an L. Keep your guard up. All right, baro. All right. So there, I've covered some of the basics. That's just your basic stances, basic punches, and some of the basic movements. All right. So all the pollen today. So I'm going to continue on with another video on strikes and kicks, a little bit more in detail. This is the first part that just covers the basic movements and stances.